On today's Solo Saturday, we play Arkham Horror, the card game, and we conclude part 3 of the Night of the Zealot campaign and play the Devourer Below. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Lee with Geek City USA here, and today we are going to conclude Arkham Horror, the card game, our Night of the Zealot campaign, and this is Part 3, The Devourer Below. Before we get into this one, I'm going to take you up top real quick and show you the upgrades that I did to both Roland Banks' deck and Wendy Adams' deck. Okay guys, here we go. Here is the aftermath of our Night of the Zealot, the Midnight Mask. So we went ahead and we updated Roland's mental trauma. He is now at 3, and we know he has Lita Chandler in his deck. Wendy still has 1 mental trauma, so this is because of his weakness that, we still had 1 clue on there. So anyway, that's where he's going to be at. And then we noted here as well, the house is still standing. Ghoul Priest is still alive. Again, that was from the Gathering. Now it's past midnight, and then the cultist we interrogated was Peter Warren, and all of these cultists got away. So I have a hunch that we performed pretty poorly here, but we'll see. Again, this is my first go through the scenario. So that's that. Now we're going to get on to the card upgrades. Now, each investigator had 3 overall experience in order to purchase new cards. So for Wendy, I've decided to add Close Call, which is a fast play, or which is a fast card, and it's play after a non-weakness, non-elite enemy at your location is evaded. Shuffle that element, if I can speak English, shuffle that enemy into the encounter deck. So I thought this would be a good way to maybe ease up on the pressure a little bit. And then I also thought that I would add Cat Burglar. So if that focuses, what are we doing here? Why don't we want to focus? You get +1 agility, exhaust Cat Burglar, disengage, and move to a connecting location. So I like the fact that we can use this card in order to get out of dodge if we need to. And these are the 2 cards that I've opted to get rid of. So pickpocketing, I felt like if we're going to evade, I like this as a better card because this not only it gives us a permanent +1. Granted, it's a little more expensive to get out on the table, but I still think this is a better card than this one. And then as for the Opportunist, this is the other card we're going to get rid of. I didn't feel like this was really worth gumming up our deck. If you succeed by 3 or more, return this to your hand. Well, if I'm going to play this for this, skill, whatever it is, question mark, that's nice, but in order for this to really be beneficial to me, I have to succeed by 3 or more, and then I can put this back in my hand. I kind of felt that that was a garbage card. So adding this, I feel like, is a better option for me. But anyway, these are the 2 cards that I am adding to Wendy's deck. Now here's where we at with Roland Banks upgrades. Now, he also has 3 experience, and the first card we're going to upgrade is we're going to add Police Badge. Now, I like that this gives us a +1 willpower, as well as if we need to use this for a skill, we get pretty good options here. And then while an investigator at your location is taking his or her turn, discard this Police Badge, and they can take 2 additional actions that turn. I like the idea of getting extra actions in this game. Now, granted, this is a necklace or an amulet, so it will kind of compete with his Elder Sign amulet that he has in his deck here. But I think that that's okay because obviously chances are you're not going to have both at the same time. And I think if I didn't have the Elder Sign, I want to have this on him if I can. And the other card we're going to add for him is Perception, which basically helps out his investigation. So I think that's a necessity for him. And the cards I'm going to get rid of, and again, comment below if I'm crazy, but so I don't love the Research Librarian because I don't love the tome that was included in the base build. So the Research Librarian wasn't a huge asset to me. And this Book of Lore here, choose an investigator and they can search the top 3 cards for the card that they want. I didn't know that that was really worth an action. So I figured if I'm getting rid of this, this is even more worthless to me. And in my first 2 games of this campaign, I didn't use either of these. Now, maybe that's why I didn't do so well. But anyway, these are the 2 that I want to get rid of. This too also took up a spot in your hand. And I didn't like the idea of that because we have flashlights that are going to help his investigation, and we have guns and knives. So anyway, that is why I opted to get rid of these 2 cards and then add these to Roland's deck. Now I'll take you back up top and we'll get going with the Devourer Below. All right, guys, so I hope that gave you some kind of insight as to what I was thinking when I chose the cards that I chose. I'm looking back at this and I'm realizing that, you know, being 3 games in now, there are some things I would have done differently when I was adding and subtracting to the decks. I'm really eager to try this campaign with different investigators, building my own deck, blah, blah, blah. So I'll tell you right now, that's a testament to the replayability of this game. I was a person that didn't like this the first few goes, the first game or two as I was trying to learn the rules many moons ago. But now I'm sold, man. I'm already looking at buying expansions and doing fan expansions and all that stuff. Anyway, let's get started here. I'm going to start by reading the intro here to the Devourer Below, Part 3. Ready? Here, put on your seatbelts and we're about ready to take off here. So, the Devourer Below. After a frantic nighttime search throughout Arkham, you have tracked down and questioned several members of the cult. I really only found one guy in the last campaign, but who's counting? Anyway, your findings are disturbing. They claim to worship a being known as a Mordhoth. Is that right there? Can you see that? A Mordhoth? We'll go with that, a Mordhoth. A monstrous entity from another realm. You're able to confirm much of Lita's story. The cult is agitated over the destruction of a ghoul lair. However, a surprising detail also turns up. The one who invaded the lair and set this night's event in motion was none other than Lita Chandler herself. What? Dun dun dun. You are not sure why this important detail was omitted from Lita's story. Did she tell you only as much was necessary to draw you into her conflict? But in another light, she seems to be fighting to protect the city of Arkham from a terrible menace. The final pieces of the puzzle was found written in a journal possessed by one of the cultists. It describes a dark ritual to be performed deep within the woods south of Arkham. This very night. According to the journal, the ritual's completion will open a gate and bring forth the cult's dark master into this world. If the cult is not stopped, Lita warns, there is a possibility that Mordhoth's vengeance will consume us all in his path. Frightened but determined to stop the ritual, you head into the woods. So here we have it. So I've already set this up. I selected 4 of the woods cards at random. You have other options that you could pick. I guess there are just 2 others. You pick 4 of the 6. Let's read the agenda here. It says the Arkham Woods, and it says, from interrogating members of the conspiracy within Arkham, you have learned that they are performing a rite of vengeance in response to the destruction of one of their master's lairs. You have entered the woods outside Arkham to try to stop them. The woods seem unnaturally cold and filled with a deathly silence, which seems exactly where we want to go, right? Why not? Sounds creepy. Let's do it. Let's go visit. This is in Grandma's house in the wood. Now, investigating the trail, Act 1A. The evidence you've gathered has led you to the woods south of Arkham. Why do I keep saying Arkham? Of Arkham, where you believe a ritual to summon a being called a Mordhoth is about to take place. Stealing your resolve, you set forth deeper into the woods, hoping to find the site of this ritual. So now we're set up. We're starting on the main path. Now, there's a few things that we do as a part of setup. Now, I'm going to read through this here. We've already built out the decks and put the main path location into play, and I picked 4 of these Arkham Woods at random, and I selected one of these encounter sets at random. I have no idea which is in there, and frankly, this is really my 3rd real game into this, so I wouldn't know the difference to know whether I made a good choice or a bad choice if I tried to cheat. But it's fully random, and then it says, check the number of names recorded of the cultists who got away in your campaign log. So they pretty much all got away except for 1. And if there are exactly 5 or 6 names, place 3 Doom tokens on Agenda 1A. So, you know, the agenda is going to fulfill after 4, so we're pretty much almost there. We're going to add this Chaos token to the Chaos bag for the remainder of the campaign. So we have our made Chaos bag from before. Mind you, we're playing standard difficulty. That was what the walkthrough setup was. So we're going to plunk this in here. And it's pretty bad. It's a -5. Well, it says -5. If there's an Ancient One enemy in play, reveal another token. So that's going to be pretty awful. And then it also says, check the campaign log. If it's past midnight, which it is, each player discards 2 random cards from his or her starting hand. And then if the Ghoul Priest is still alive, shuffle it into the counter deck. So yes, the Ghoul Priest is still alive and has been shuffled into this deck. So I'm going to shuffle this deck up again some more just to show you guys full transparency that I am doing nothing nefarious here. We'll set that there, and as I bump it all up, I had it looking so pretty. Now we'll shuffle Roland's deck. And again, I've shuffled the crud out of these decks already, but you know, just to make sure, just so we're all on the same page, that we're all on the up and up. And then we'll shuffle Wendy's deck, Wendy Adams. Wonder if it's any relationship to Wednesday Adams. And now, because Roland has 3 mental trauma and Wendy has 1 mental trauma, we are going to give them their starting damage. So he has 3 mental trauma and Wendy has 1. So now let's go ahead and let's deal out Roland's deck. So 1, 2, 3, or his hand rather, 4, 5. Now we have the right to mulligan, but we are going to get rid of 2 random cards, so I'm not even sure that it matters. Oh, so we pulled a treachery or a weakness card, so those get set aside, and we draw another card and we'll shuffle that back in the deck. So before I shuffle that back in, let's figure out what we're gonna do. If we're gonna mulligan anything. We got the beat cop, we got the emergency cash, we've got guts, I've got manual dexterity, I've got a knife. I feel like this is actually a pretty good starting hand because the beat cop is gonna bump up our strength and give us somebody to kind of help us out a little bit. The emergency cash is gonna give us some resources. Yeah, the guts is gonna give us some willpower, dexterity if we need to run. I feel okay with this. But now we're gonna get rid of 2 cards at random. And let me shuffle this back into the deck first. Right, because I'm not shuffling back in the deck, we're just discarding them. So that means they're going to be discarded and not in the deck. So there's the deck. So we'll shuffle these and randomly pick 1, 2. So there's 1 and 2. So these are what's getting discarded. And it's the knife and the guts. So I would have kind of liked to have kept the knife, but whatever. We're just going to lay the discard pile like that. And we didn't give ourselves the resources. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Wendy. Almost forgot about that. That would have been a bad day. All right, so let's draw Wendy's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we have a knife, the close call, which is, I don't know, it's kind of early for that one. Backstab for when we fight. Cunning distraction, evade. And overpower, max 1 committed per skill test. I have a weapon. I feel pretty good about a lot of these, but I don't know if we're gonna run into a bunch of bad right away, do you think? What do you guys think? What's a good starting hand? I'd love for you guys to comment below on like how I should start everything off. I'm gonna hold on to these. No, you know what? I'm not going to because I want to try to get the ally in there that gives the extra turn. So we'll keep the knife, the close call. Although we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna have to discard 2 cards anyway. I'd rather just discard what we have here. Because if I get the ally, chances are I would draw exactly what I would have to discard it. So we're going to lose that card. And we're going to lose this card. So the cards that get discarded are Overpower and Backstab. So, you know, that's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. I hate the idea of starting off with fewer cards, but whatever. It's the name of the game, right? Arkham Horror, things go bad. It's meant to be a rough game. So anyway, let's start by reading the main path. It says, Hangman's Brook separates uptown from the woods south of Arkham. Passing over the small bridge, you follow the main path deeper into the forest. The main path is connected to each other woods location. Resign if there's nothing we can do to stop them. You flee from the woods, leaving Arkham to its grisly fate. Now, what would be the point of resigning from your final mission in the campaign? I can't imagine that's a good thing, but hey, who knows? So, okay, there's no clues here. We're going to need 6 to advance that act, and it's almost Doomland over here, so ugh. All right, well, let's get started here. I think the logical first thing is going to do, so this is connected to all of these, so we'll be okay. I guess it's like eeny, meeny, miny, moe. Let's just pick one, and I feel good about this one. Now, again, these are random. I don't know what they are, so we'll start off with Roland, and he's going to move down here to the Arkham Woods here. And we'll flip this, and it says, forced, when you move out of this location, test 3, if you fail, cancel the effects of the move. Oh, it's kind of like the, it sounds like anyway, the secret, the lost forest in Zelda. If anybody remembers the original Zelda. So we're going to put 2 clues here because there's 1 per investigator. So that was action number 1. I'm going to grab a couple of these just so I can keep track of how many actions I do with each character. Action number 2, let's maybe test our intellect, right? Let's try to find a clue. It's a 3. We have a 3. Do we have anything that helps here? Well, or maybe we want to play the beat cop right away. Do we want to do that? Let's do that. Let's be safe. Let's prepare this time. So for the second action, we're going to play the beat cop. Now, we can, let me get that to focus, exhaust the beat cop and deal 1 damage to it, and I can deal damage to an enemy at a location. So I feel like that might help going forward. And then for option 3, we're going to test our intellect to see if we can get one of these clues. Now let's see what happens here. We're going to shuffle these up really good. And here's our first skill test of the game. And it's the Elder Sign. And now for him, it's a +1 for each clue on your location. So we mega succeed at that one. So Roland Banks now has his very first clue. So that's pretty good. And that exhausts Roland. Now, I think what I'm going to do, I learned a little bit this last time we played, those are Roland's cards there, is that we need to keep the investigators together. I feel like splitting up is going to be problematic. So we are going to bring Wendy here. She's going to move for 1. For 2, let's take a look at her hand here. What do we have? Evade, fast play, and a knife. I'm right away. Action number 2, I'm going to give her a knife. I want her to be prepared. That's the name of the game. That's the name of this time around. We're going to be prepared, and we're going to win this time. We're going to have a great showing. And then for our third action, she's going to try to investigate. Well, we got the flip side of that here. And she has an intellect of 3, and remember, we can always discard a card to draw a different token, although I don't want to have to do that. We'll mix all these up really well. We're going to draw this one, and it is a -3. So yeah, do we want to discard a card to redraw that? I think we do. We're going to get rid of this cunning distraction to evade all enemies at our location. That's 5 resources. I don't see us using that anytime soon. So let's mix that back in. So we have a 3, and I guess I really could have looked to see if anybody has anything to add. She doesn't. Roland didn't either. And she's going to draw a -2, which puts us at a 1. So she fails that wasted turn. No good, but hey, you know what? We have some weapons. I think we're okay to start this out here. So now that ends the investigator's phase, enemy phase, no enemies. So now we're going to flip these back over, even though I didn't flip hers because she wasn't exhausted, or she was, whatever, you get the idea. They're each going to gain a resource, 1 resource and 1 resource, and they're each going to draw a card. Roland draws the barricade, which can help us. Not only is there a lot of different icons, but you know, if things get kind of hairy, it could keep the bad guys from coming. Ooh, and she's got the rabbit's foot, so I like that. I feel really confident, huh? So don't need to check our hand size. We know we're not any issues there. So now the Mythos phase, we're gonna put a Doom counter on, and guess what? We already have to advance the agenda because we have satisfied this. I'm not sure that I like this. So here's the agenda, and I'm going to read this here. Throughout the woods, a shrieking cry echoes. From somewhere deeper in the forest, a score of hideous voices answer the call. Inhuman as the baying of hounds, and yet articulate, repeating a singular name. A Mordoth, a Mordoth, a Mordoth. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck, and discard cards from the top until a monster enemy is discarded. Spawn that enemy at the main path, then place 1 Doom on that enemy. So I'm not going to bother, there's no discard, so let's see what happens. Yellow sign, that's not a monster. That's not a monster. Not a monster. Rotting remains, so Grasping Hands. Another Grasping Hands. Ancient Evils. I did shuffle, I mean you guys saw me shuffle these, although, well, maybe I should have shuffled a little bit better. I thought I shuffled well. Okay, hold on. So we're going to make an executive decision. This is obviously a crap shuffle by me. These are all still stuck together. I'm going to shuffle these a whole lot better. So pardon me while I think it's for the integrity of the game, and yes, I did do a little bridge shuffle there. Their cards are meant to be played with, but I tell you, this is one game that I can see myself sleeving, but you know, I don't sleeve games generally, so. All right, so let's try that again. Does everybody agree that's probably a better shuffle? We'll do one more just for posterity. All right, so I think we're good there. All right, so now let's try flipping them. All right, so we have Dissonant Voices, Rotting Remains. Okay, we had both of those before. Okay, here we go. Humanoid Monster Ghoul. We have the Ravenous Ghoul. Prey is the lowest remaining health, but this one is going to spawn at the main path. So this Ravenous Ghoul is at the main path. And then we're going to put 1 Doom on that enemy. All right, and then this is out of the game. And let's read here Agenda 2A. The ritual begins. Amordoth, Amordoth, Amordoth. The chanting builds in intensity, echoing into the cold air of the night. The sparse clouds in the sky coalesce above the Arkham woods, blotting out the faint light of the stars. Each enemy gets +1 fight and +1 evade. Ooh, I hope I remember that. +1 fight and +1 to evade. That's no good for us, guys. That's no good at all. So that was just advancing that, and now we have to draw cards from the top of the encounter deck. We're going to start with Roland. He's our main investigator, and we draw Acolyte. Human cultist, spawn at any empty location, forced after he enters play, place 1 Doom on it. So I guess we will... So this tells what this one's connected to. So this Arkham Woods is connected to the main path and 2 other ones. So we're just going to place this Acolyte over here. After Acolyte enters play, place 1 Doom counter on it. So I'm not liking this because we're already 2 advanced into this 5. Wendy's card, Ancient Evils, Revelation, place 1 Doom on the current agenda. This effect can cause it to advance. So we just changed agendas, and we are already 3 Doom into 5. This is not looking good for our team here already, but it's the investigation phase. Let's see what happens. We're going to start with, who do we want to start with? Roland has the barricade, which we could use to do some investigation. She doesn't have so much in the ways of helping that. The main path is connected to each other woods location. So now here's the deal. You see here, this shows what locations we can go to. I'm sure that we can connect to some of the woods locations, but right now they're all red. So I think we have to go back to the main path. I mean, I think that's the truthful way to do it until we explore some of these. So that's going to put this Ravenous Ghoul right at our throats. So let's start with, we're going to have Wendy start then, because I want to investigate and see if I can get somewhere with this investigation. Now, I'm not going to try to beef up my intellect. Let's just see what happens. And her first draw is the Tombstone. -3. If there's a monster enemy at your location, take 1 damage. Yeah, I don't want to discard any cards, so we'll take that as a loss. So let's try again. Her second action, we're going to do this again. I draw this one. -2. Son of a gun. I really wish I would have played the Rabbit's Foot. I totally forgot about the Rabbit's Foot. We would have been able to draw a card. Shoot. We're going to play that now. Well, too little, too late. It would end my turn. And I don't want to get rid of that evade card just yet. We're going to take her third action. Oh, this was a waste of a turn, wasn't it? We're going to draw a -4. Excellent. That sucked. That simple and plain sucked. Okay. Pay better attention next time, pal, right? That's what I got to do. So anything here that I want to play for Roland? No. We don't need the emergency resources right now. He's going to investigate because we need to get some progress here. So it's 3. Do we have anything to add to this? Let's burn through the deck if we have to. We don't have any hunters in play. So we're going to play this barricade so we can beef up his intellect. So he has 4 to the location has 3. We draw a -1. So it is a very good thing that we did that. but we at least discover this clue. So his first action, we got the last clue. So now we're gonna do, if we move, boy, oh boy, this is gonna be difficult. This gets discarded. You know what though, we're going for it. We've got to make some stuff happen this turn. So he's gonna try to move. So the second action is going to be to move out of this location, and we're gonna test 3, and we've got nothing to add to it. So he has to choose well here. And he draws a -3, so he fails his move attempt. And we don't have anything that's gonna aid us in our move. Not at all. So we're gonna go for a third go. This is third action. We're gonna try to move again. We're testing 3 intellect, and we draw a little thing. And it is -5. If there's an Ancient One enemy in play, reveal another token. So that's just a -5. So that stinks. That was our turn. Now we're gonna go to the enemy phase, and Hunter keywords would move. None of these have the Hunter keywords, so nothing's gonna happen there. No attack, so now we're gonna do the upkeep. So they're gonna both refresh. That was really a wasted turn, and all it did is brought the bad guys out onto the board. So each are gonna get a resource. We're gonna draw a card. He draws Dynamite Blast, choose another location, and deal 3 damage to each enemy. And I like this card. I see part of the reason why I would love to have a second, what's it called? A second core set is this would be a fantastic card to have multiples of. I love that card. Wendy Adams draws Flashlight, so that's going to be helpful. It's going to help us do a little bit better investigation. Now we're going to go ahead. We're fine on our hand size, so we'll go to the Mythos phase. Start by placing a Doom token. So we are now at 4. We don't add one here. We don't add one here. So we're at 4. We're okay. Now we're going to draw the event deck, and this is going to be for Roland, and we draw Screeching Bayaki and Prey, lowest remaining sanity, Hunter. While engaged with Investigator with remaining sanity of 4 or fewer, he gets +1 fight and +1 evade, which sucks because they already get +1 fight and +1 evade. So lowest remaining sanity is going to be Roland, and we're going to move him down just a hair. That's no good. So he has, he's right now at a 5 fight and a 5 evade, because he gets +1 because of his sanity and +1 because of the agenda card. So that I don't like that. And now on to Wendy. She draws Wizard of the Order, spawn at the empty location, retaliate at the end of the Mythos phase, place 1 Doom on Wizard of the Order. We'll just put him here. And that is going to end the Mythos phase. And guess what? We could totally advance that Doom, but with foul order. So our next turn, that's going to advance. This could be a really, really short scenario. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's that. Now back to the investigators. Roland is going to have to make some business happen here. We don't have any weapons, although, so we're going to have to take care of this dude first, because otherwise, he's going to do the attack of opportunity, because I would like to play this card. It would do damage to this Ravenous School and get him out of there. But first we're going to have to fight the Screeching Bayaki. We don't have anything that's really going to help, although we could evade, but evading isn't going to do us any good because we're still going to have to deal with this trying to move out of our area. So we're going to start by fighting. He gets a +1 strength, so he's actually at a 5 to the, well, 5. 5 to 5. Exhaust B cap and deal 1 damage to deal damage to an enemy at your location. Do we have anything to attack that can help? Nothing that I want to use. So anyway, it's 5 on 5. We're drawing straight up. I could really use an Elder Sign right about now. What do we have? Boom, a -1. Son of a gun, right? Because we have 4, 5. And then he's at 3, 4, 5. So that's actually 4 to 5. So we fail action 1. Go again. Number two, action number two, we're going to try to attack this thing again. And we draw the tombstone -5 if there's an Ancient One enemy in play, which there isn't. If you fail that one, hey, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Would it be worth taking an attack of opportunity? Oh, he's going to hold the phone. This screeching guy, look at that. He's going to drive Roland mad. We will be without Roland here in no time. Whoops, I flipped those clues. He's got to evade. He has to evade. Yeah, we're going to evade. So we're going to play this to evade. So that's at 2, 3, 4 to a 5. Can she add anything to it? She can. She's going to play this, so it adds +1 to Roland. So Roland again he's got a 4-5 against a 5, and he's got to evade this, or he's doomed. He's done. We draw a shrouded thing -2 and place 1 doom on the nearest enemy. So he failed that evade, and we place 1 doom counter on the nearest enemy. That is no good at all, guys. No good at all. Right? Yeah, it was -2 because we had 2, 3, 4, 5 against 5. So yeah, that's terrible. Well, we're gonna still exhaust the beat cop to deal the damage to the screeching thing and deal the damage to the beat cop. All right, here's the deal now. We are gonna, this is all on Wendy now. Wendy is gonna have to do some damage to this guy. So there's 1 damage done already. If she plays the rabbit's foot, that could get us an extra card. She needs to do 3 damage. We could discard the knife for 2, leaving 1. So we have a chance. I have to chance it. I'm gonna play this to play the rabbit's foot. But this is going to be ugly because while engaged with an investigator with remaining sanity of 4 or fewer, Screeching Byaki gets +1 fight and +1 evade. Now it says while engaged with an investigator, so technically it's engaged with Roland Banks, so I would assume that +1/+1 happens even if she is trying to attack it. So she's going to try to attack. She has a 3, 4 if she fights with this. Can he help at all? He can't help at all. So she has a, did I say 4? She shouldn't have a 4. She has a 1, a 2 against a 5. Well, that's not going to work now, is it? It's not going to work at all. But if we fail this, you know what, we're just gonna deal with it right now. Do we have any guaranteed passes? We don't. So we're gonna fail this, but that's okay. We're gonna test it. We're chancing something here. So she draws a skull, and that's -X is the number of monster enemies in play. So it's a big time loss, but we're gonna tap this. I'm sorry, not tap, exhaust it. She's gonna draw a card. So that was her second action. Oh, and we actually drew Wendy's amulet, which is helpful because this, if we draw the Elder Sign, it guarantees a success, but then we'd have to get rid of this. I think we have to, hey, I got this. She's going to attack. We are going to discard this card. We're going to discard the knife. It's going to give her +2. We are going to discard Wendy's amulet. It's a matter of life or death, right? Although, this will just, hold on, let's think this one through here. Because the Screeching Byaki will just, we can have it take out the beat cop, can't we? And then we can see what Roland does. And hope for the best. You know what, we're still risking it. I feel like we can't wait on this one. So, okay, so this is going to add, we're going to discard the knife, which is going to give us +2 to fight, right? So she's going to be at a 3 fight, 4, 5 against 5 here, because it's at a 3 plus the 2. So 5 on 5. what do we got here? We really need a good pull. We're going to pull this one. And it's a -1. Of course it is. So that -1, again, we were at 2, 3, 4, 5 on 3, +1, +1, 4, 5. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to discard this card to use her power and try again. So we're going to draw this one. 0. Woohoo! All right, so we're going to do, that's 2 damage to this guy. So he is at 3. The Screeching Byaki's at 3. And these are both discarded now. So she attacked. I just realized too, hold on, pause. We failed, which we drew a card with, but that would have done 1 damage to Roland, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I really sped through that. I'm pretty sure, yeah, because we did the attack, we tapped the rabbit's foot so she could draw a card, but that would have done, because it's engaged with Roland, it would have done a damage to Roland. But, you know, that's okay. Actually, can we give it to the Beat Cop? I think we could. We're going to give it to the Beat Cop. And then for her last action, right, because it was rabbit's foot, we did the attack. She has 1 more action, I believe. But she is not going to be able to do anything, so we're going to draw a card. I hope that wasn't my 3rd action, was it? I lost track and all that. We're going to draw a card and hope that that's legal. So it's a 41 Derringer. So that's good, but then she's exhausted. All right, so now it's the enemies phase. So enemies with the hunter keyword is going to move. So the only hunter is a Screeching Byaki. So he's going to stay connected there. Not a hunter, not a hunter, not a hunter. Yeah, right. Okay. And then, so each engaged enemy attacks if able. So this is going to do 1 health and 2 mental. So we're going to give it all to this Beat Cop. And bye-bye, Beat Cop. We saved Roland for the next turn. So we're okay there. We're going to reset actions, untap cards. And did we live to fight another day? This is going to be a really quick scenario. Each player gets a resource. Roland draws a card, and he draws the evidence. Fast play after you defeat an enemy and discover a clue. And Wendy draws overpower. So, okay. I'm okay with this so far. We're going to go to the Mythos phase. We're going to place the Doom counter, but it's not going to matter because we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Doom. We are advancing this. We are advancing this. What does a win look like in Arkham Horror? Maybe one day I'll learn. So this is going to advance. There's a whole bunch of text. A dark presence approaches and you are assaulted by invisible pressures that bring you to your knees. A terrible force threatens to invade your mind and soul. Your throat clenches and your eyes water as a sensation burns through you. In player order, each investigator must test 6 willpower. Each investigator who fails must search the collection for a random basic madness weakness and add it to his or her hand. Must search a collection for a random basic madness weakness. All right, so we'll start with Roland, and he has to test 6, and he has 3. Even if I use this, that's only 4. She can't help. I don't know why I'm even going to do this. We're going to draw, and he draws a 0, 3. He fails, so he has to search for a basic madness. A random basic madness. So basic weakness, weakness. So here we go. It's a madness, basic madness, curse, madness, madness. All right, so here's what I have. There's 4 of them here. So we've got hypochondria, we've got psychosis, paranoia, and amnesia. And we suffer these and add them to his hand. All right, so this is what goes in his hand, and it is paranoia, revelation, discard all of your resources. So it goes in his hand, and that revelation means he has to play it. Correct? That's how I've been playing this. Let me make sure, because that's kind of a bummer right away. Revelation keyword, that means, yeah, you've got to resolve it as soon as you draw it. Yeah, as though it were just drawn. That's what I thought. So, all right, discard all of your resources. So that's going to go here, and all his resources are gone. Now for Wendy, she's gonna have to make the same test. She at least has a 4. This isn't gonna help any. There's no +2 in here. And she draws a 0. But I can play this after, yeah, because none of these are gonna help. So I'm gonna exhaust this to at least draw up a card, just to get an extra card. Look what I found. That'll help. So anyway, now she has to take one of these weaknesses. Where did I put them? I put them somewhere over here. Put them back over here. Oh, here they are. So these are the 3 options that she has. So we're going to shuffle. We're going to draw this one. And she has Psychosis. Revelation. Add Psychosis to your threat area. After you take 1 or more horror, take 1 direct damage. Discard Psychosis. Oh, it takes 2 turns. All right, so here's the deal. That is not a good thing, but I think we're going to get rid of that as quickly as possible. But let's see what's next here. We can discard this, and we're at the end here. The Devourer Below. Revelation. Replace the current act and agenda with the Devourer Below. This card is both current act and current agenda. Objective, if Amordoth is defeated, R2. Is this the right side, or did I read the wrong side? Oops. Let's try this again. Vengeance awaits. The world begins to shift and change as the ritual nears its conclusion. The air grows chilly and the entire forest is covered in a layer of rime. Didn't mean to spoil that for us. The trees bend unnaturally and their shadows lengthen into weird shapes, forced when this agenda advances. If the investigators are at Act 1, put the set-aside ritual site into play and spawn the set-aside Amordoth there. If the investigators are at Act 2 or 3, discard all enemies at the ritual site and spawn their set-aside there. Okay. So not good. Okay, well that's it. Each investigator draws 1 card from the top of the encounter deck. We still get to do that. What do you know? Here's Roland's. Mysterious Chanting. Place 2 Doom on the nearest cultist enemy. So let's do that first. Let's see. Cultist. So both of these are close. What do you say? Give it to these because they're right across the street, I guess. That gets discarded. If there are no cultist enemies in play, which there are, so that's it for him. And then for Wendy, she draws an Acolyte, spawn at an empty location. After it enters play, place 1 Doom token on it. So there's a Doom token there, and now it's the end of the Mythos phase, and there's going to be 1 Doom token there. So look at that. We're going to advance we're going to advance this next. Holy crap. Okay. So that is the end of that. Now we're going to go back to the investigator's turn, and we're going to start with Roland. Roland is going to fight the Screeching guy. Oh man, if only I had resources. Oh, there's no clues to discover anyway. Okay. So he's going to fight. He's got a 4 fight to 5. What are his chances of drawing a +1? There are no chances of him drawing a +1. But she can play this for the icons, right? Right, how critical is this? Yeah, we're gonna contribute this. Now, we're just contributing for this. Can we play this? This is where I get confused. So if I play this as her, we can count this, and then if it's successful, draw a card. I'm assuming that I'm playing this on for him as well, that if it's successful, she could still draw a card. So that's what we're gonna do. Correct me if I'm wrong. So she's gonna play this to help. He's got no fists to help. So he has 4, 5, 6 to the 5. And we're gonna draw here and see we get a 0. So that's good. That's a success. She'll draw a card, and she draws Amnesia. Choose and discard all but 1 card from your hand. Okay. We are going to get rid of, look what I found. So she has the gun. But that's okay. He defeated this thing. And then when you move out of this location, test 3. If you fail, cancel the effects of the move. Okay, and so this is good. So that's gone. That's actually a victory point. I'm not sure why it matters at this stage of the game. So that was his first action. His second action is going to not have any resources to play this card. Second action is to play this to gain 3 resources. 1, 2, 3. And third action, we are going to take another resource. Or are we going to move? I'm afraid to move, guys. I'm afraid to move. Because he'll just be taking damage. What do we got here? Well, we have to go back to the main path. He's going to take a resource. We're gonna plan on buffing this turn now. So now it's her turn. She has 1 card. We're going to play this for 3 resources. It puts 3 ammo on it. That's action number 1. We have 2 more actions. We're going to use those last 2 actions to discard this. And I feel okay with these because I don't want to separate them. So that's her last 2 actions. So that's it for her. Now the enemies. Does anybody have hunt? No. All right, so no enemies are going to attack. So we can reset these. So now look, he can blow up this location and do damage to everything there. We still don't have crap for clues. Ugh. Now, ready all exhausted cards. Each investigator is going to draw a card. Roland grabs dodge. So this cancels an attack. And Wendy draws sneak attack. So, okay. Now after that, we're going to do the Mythos. Place 1 Doom token, and that's going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this Doom is going to advance. And this is going to be Revelation. Replace the current act and agenda with the Devourer Below. This card is both the current act and the current agenda. So current act and agenda with the Devourer Below. Oh, so that's this. Well, hold on. Place the current act and agenda with the Devourer Below. Oh, here we go. Forced. Let's read this first. If the investigators are Act 1, put a set-aside ritual site into play and spawn the set-aside Amdoroth there. So that's exactly where we're at. So there's the ritual site. Whoops, wrong side. Right there. We're going to place it here. And we're going to put this lovely, massive hunter right here. And then we're going to replace the Devourer Below here. We've got to defeat this thing. Look at that thing. It's cute. I feel like this is just a really quick scenario of not good stuff. Now, this is for Roland. Ancient Evil's Omens. Place 1 Doom on the current agenda. Can cause the current agenda to advance. That doesn't hurt us right now because there isn't any Doom to be added. And then we'll go for her. The Ghoul Priest. Why did you have to spawn now? And it's going to engage Roland. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so I feel like throwing in the towel on this one. I think we start with Roland on this here, and he's got to evade that thing. He's got a 2 with... Oh, okay, so he lost the bonus, so it's a 4 to evade. We don't really have anything to evade with here. What does she have? Oh, if he evades, we could do a bunch of damage to this Ghoul Priest. But does it matter to defeat the Ghoul Priest? We got to get to this dude. And he gets +4 health per investigator, so he's at 14. We've got 10 over here. This game's brutal, man. I don't know what to do. I'm at a loss. I don't see anything good happening here. Yeah, because she can shoot for 3. He needs a gun. He doesn't have one. Even the dynamite blast isn't going to help. He's going to try to evade. I think he has to. He has to. But there's no way to help him evade. So that's not going to happen. So what, he's just going to punch his way out of a paper bag? I mean, that thing's going to take 10 damage. I don't have enough resources or cards. And the thing retaliates. So if I fail the check... This is awful. This is awful. That ghoul priest could not have spawned at a worse time. Welcome to the world of Arkham Horror, where things don't go well and you just lose. Maybe I start with Wendy and she just starts shooting at that thing. Because she could do a total of 3 damage if she hits. Of course, she's got a pretty good odds of missing. And if she misses, well... Or she can engage, but... There's nothing that he has to add fight. If he draws a card, he's going to get attacked, and that's going to make him go mad. Yeah, even if he moves and he attacks, it's going to be an attack of opportunity. Although we have dodge, so we can cancel the effect. He's just going to have to attack. He has a 4 attack. He's going to have to fight this thing. 4 attack against a 4 combat strength, and he pulls a skull, which is X the number of monsters in play, of which there are 1. That's not a monster. Well, that's kind of good. 2. So it's going to be -2, so he fails. And because he fails, he's going to... he has to play this. He's going to play to dodge so he doesn't do the attack. He's got to go for broke. Number 2, -2. And that's going to be it. He's going to take 2 damage and 2 mental. And he's going to go mad. So Roland is out. He is 5 mental brokenness. So Roland is now gone. Oh, that couldn't suck anymore. So now the Ghoul Priest is going to defeat Wendy at this point. Sorry guys, this is not going the way I'd hoped. She is going to try to evade this thing. She has a 4. So she is going to try to evade 4 against 4, and she pulls a -1. Actually, no, I take that back. She's not going to try. She's going to... Yeah, it was -1. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to tap this to draw a card, which gives me elusive. Play on your turn, disengage from each enemy engaged with you and move to a revealed location with no enemies, of which there are none. Oh, over here. Oh wait, no, that's where I'm at. So this could do me no good. And then the attack of opportunity is going to do... She's going to be at 3 and 2. And for her second action, she's going to try to evade once again. Giving up at this point, I think. 0. Hey, so she does invade. So he's going to be exhausted here. And she evaded. Now the question is, well, he's a hunter, so he's just going to chase her down. She's going to move. Or she's going to try to. She's going to test 3 intellect to move to here, and we're going to play this as well. So we get a +1. So that's a 4 intellect here. And we drew a tombstone, -3, and take a damage. So we're going to discard a card to use her special power and draw a different token and try not to die here. -4. Ugh. Okay, so she failed that. So now she is exhausted. Now we're going to go on enemy phase. Hunter keyword moves. He's exhausted, but this guy is not a hunter right here. Hunter, and the cave goes to the main path. So we're one closer. At the end of each I guess I probably should have read this. At the end of each investigator's turn, ready him, and if we control Lita Chandler, you can throw her. You can. It's kind of nice. All right, that's it. And then each engaged enemy attacks if able with Sharon any. Ready all exhausted cards. Draw a resource and a card, and she draws a leather coat. Lita will never be in play. The Ghoul Priest is going to re-engage because he's ready again. And now in the Mythos phase, no Doom to contend with, but we're going to draw this. Mysterious Chanting, place 2 Doom on the Cultist, doesn't matter. So this doesn't hurt us at all. And now we're back to contend with the Ghoul Priest. We're going to try to run here and then resign, because otherwise we're going to die. So she is going to try to move. And she needs to pass a 3 intellect. This doesn't help us. So let's just see what happens. Pull this. -5. We are actually going to discard this card to pull that one again. And we draw a -2 and place 1 Doom on the nearest enemy. The Doom doesn't matter. And so we have Retaliate. We failed a skill test, so she's going to take 2 damage. So we'll get rid of this. So we're down to 3 and 2 mental. And this is it, folks. She is 1 mess up away from dying. So she's gonna try to evade, or try to move again. Test, well, even if she moves now, she's got to evade him. Because if she moves, he's going to get the Retaliate. Or rather, the attack of opportunity. And she's at 3, 4, 5. It would drive her mad. So she's going to have to evade first. So she's got to draw a 0 or something. -2. That's it, guys. She draws a -2. We don't have anything to discard. We can exhaust this to draw this, but that's not going to help. She's going to take from the attack of opportunity 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's it. She's dead. She is dead. Or not dead, but she's mad. That was quick. That was less than an hour. All right, so if no resolution was reached, if each investigator resigned or was defeated, too frightened to face her fate, Lita flees into the night. She realizes that she has failed and the Mordoth's vengeance will pursue her wherever she goes. The creature's tendrils spread throughout the city of Arkham, searching for her. It lurks in the darkness of every corner, tugging at the seams of reality, but Lita is nowhere to be found. So the creature dwells in the shadows to this day, searching and killing. In your campaign log, record that Arkham succumbed to Mordoth's terrible vengeance. Each surviving investigator is killed, and the investigators lose. And that is it. That is it. So there we have it. Roland and Wendy Adams are both deceased. Is this a legacy game? Do I tear these up? Should I? No, I won't do that. That was an awful, awful showing of this, the Devourer Below of the Night of the Zealot. But there you have it, guys. That is Arkham Horror, the card game. That is the third and final scenario of this core game campaign. And we did not perform well at all. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to give this another go with some different investigators. Let me know if anybody's actually interested in watching it. Let me know. Maybe I'll film it if enough people care. Otherwise, maybe I'll just play on my own and then look into some fan expansions or some other expansions. Comment down below what I should go for next. Should I replay this? Should I go for a fan expansion in particular? Let me know that. Or if I should just jump right into one of the other expansions, let me know which one you would recommend. I'm all ears. I'd love to hear your recommendations. But anyway, I'm Lee with Geek City USA. This was Arkham Horror, and I thank you for watching. We'll check you guys out next time. Cheers.